Well, good morning, everybody. This is Louise Eddington, Cosmic Owl from Cosmic Owl Astrology, and I'm making this video public because it is the Aries full moon, and I'm realizing this full moon is way powerful. We got our COVID numbers early today, over 1,000 again. Hey, anyway, um, yeah, so if you like my videos, please subscribe. And if I seem a bit discombobulated, I'm going to tell you that this Aries full moon is conjunct Chiron, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But it's squaring my Saturn in the first house, Saturn in Capricorn. And Saturn in Capricorn is kind of structures and bones in the skeleton, amongst other things. Aries is rash and moves quickly. And I was rushing about this morning to take my daughter her coffee to wake her up because she's a teenager who doesn't wake up very well, and dashing about, and I managed to fall spectacularly down the last two steps of our stairs, and I have a very sore knee, but it'll be fine. I've been in a bath with Epsom salts with magnesium, and well, magnesium's in it anyway, but other stuff in there. So that's my Aries full moon story, and this is especially so because Mars is retrograde and is about to conjunct Eris and has just squared Saturn, which is just stationed direct, and is also about to square Pluto, which is stationing direct early on the 4th. This square is just intense, and with the Aries full moon highlighting Chiron, the wounded healer, and bringing up a lot of wounds, rashness, patterns to be healed. It's a bit crazy. So please slow down. Please take, because Saturn is at a standstill. So it's saying, I'm going to stop you if you don't slow down. Okay. And it stopped me this morning with an accident. I'm okay though. It could have been a lot worse. But there you go. Good job I have tough bones. That's Saturn in Capricorn in the first house. Is strong. So here is the full moon chart. We the Weirdly Magical podcast. Jen and I talked at length about it, and so you can go and listen to that on your favorite podcast platform, or I shared the video on my own YouTube channel. And we're recording the Libra new moon podcast after this, so look for that being released anyway. So subscribe to our chat, to my channel, or to the Weirdly Magical podcast YouTube channel, or subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. There's iTunes, Spotify, Amazon podcasts, Podbean goes out to everywhere. So, but this is this chart, and this is so intense. If you look, the full moon itself is not making any other major aspects, but its only other aspect apart from the conjunction to Chiron, the wounded and the wounder, is this in conjunct to Uranus. And guess what Uranus does? Sudden change, sudden accidents. So I am the living example of today's full moon, and I'm wrapping myself in cotton wool for the rest of the day. But there's going to be a lot. I think this full moon is going to release some other shocks and surprises, some other sudden events. The thing with Uranus is that it's expect the unexpected. It's Taurus, so it could be about finance systems, or it could be about our Earth as well. But it could also be innovative ideas, all right? Breaking free of old patterns in order to heal the wound. Now, I'm going to talk America because it's just, well, I live here and we're in the middle of a presidential election, and the presidential debate on Tuesday night was so emblematic of this. It was a shit show, to quote Dana Bash on CNN. I'm going to try and be non-partisan, but it was a shit show all around. Apparently, our president interrupted Biden like 28 times. The moderator lost control. Biden called the president a clown, and it was just chaos. We've got this agent of chaos here, Aries, shaking everything up. Sorry, there she is. but it's also emblematic of what it's brought up for people. So I shared a post on Facebook, and there's several posts been written about it now. About this is bringing up a lot of collective trauma in our psyche. Now, I'm going to read a little bit from a post I shared this morning on my Facebook page. From a Facebook page I had forgotten I followed. Get invited to just follow so many pages. It's a Dr. Nandi Hetenyi. And she said, what we are witnessing here in the US is the horrific underbelly of narcissistic abuse that is in the heart of the dynamic that maintains a culture of domination. So this is not really about 45 at all. This is about our culture. We are literally bathed in it anywhere we live in a patriarchal society. And this is not about men and women again either. This is the hierarchical, top-down, big daddy runs it kind of figure, okay? And this is a trauma-based culture flailing to maintain itself. It's undeniably in our faces, possibly bringing up old traumatic memories in our bodies, and we are wildly reaching for a way to make it go away, numb it, or escape it. There are links to narcissism, systemic oppression, and addiction, codependency, which are two sides of the same coin. Codependency is addiction, addiction is codependency. All of these things, racism, addiction, and codependency, maintain the consciousness of narcissistic abuse and trauma, which, if not addressed, maintains some level of an internal trauma loop and codependency, even if our drug of choice is not present. This is a process addiction at the core, the adrenaline rush of disbelief and toxic abuse of self and others. In a dominator culture built on a solid foundation of lying, gaslighting, manipulation, control, dehumanization for profit, and eco-trauma, well, the world we've been taught to rely on has been failing us for a long time, and we've all participated in it, because in its traumatic wake, this modern human condition of consumption addiction has been born as an unconscious attempt to mother ourselves, to fill this place in us where our souls long to take up residence. Our collective mother wound is wailing right now. And to my mind, that's Ceres. I'll talk about Ceres in a minute. Let us listen to her rather than reaching for something to drown ourselves in. We give our power away when we decide to check out into addictions. And it's actually not that funny to joke about needing to drink or get high to tolerate our world right now. Personal fact, I've quit drinking completely during this COVID and during this period of 2020. It's not helping. We need to stay strong. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's on my Facebook page, Cosmic Owl Astrology, if you want to go and read it. It's such an excellent post. And this is what is up today in this. This is our identity wound. This is where have we been the wounded, and where have we been the wounder, and what's our part? This Aries is the I am. What is our part in this collective wound? And the positive side of Uranus is that we are being asked to break free of this, okay? And it's the full moon is at 9 degrees, which is a number of completion and endings. We're being given a real opportunity to break these patterns and create something new. I've found myself being pulled to do it with all of this. Accidents aside, that was just the kind of mundane manifestation of it. But I invite you to listen to our Libra full moon because new moon podcasts, because the opposite point of a full moon is an opposition between the two lights, the sun and the moon, and the sun is in Libra. And the new moon is going to be at 23 degrees, which is a very relevant number for this year. And I'll talk more about that later. But this is a number of completion. I've mentioned in our podcasts that it seems, standard law is that new moons are a beginning, but we always have to remember that it's the end of a cycle too, and that the full moons are fulfillment. Well, yes, in a way. But new moon is a beginning and an ending. It's at the end of the old cycle that started a month ago and the beginning of another. But it's also the end of greater cycles. And this one is so huge because it's next to Chiron, and because of all this Aries stuff squaring Capricorn. I got told I'm tired of hearing all this patriarchal stuff about the patriarchy. When I use that word, somebody said that to me. Our society is a patriarchal society. We expect Big Daddy to, solve things for us. I was just listening to the Astrology Hub recording in an interview with Georgia Stathis, who's a fantastic astrologer. And she pointed out how our system in the USA, and I would say this is probably true of many patriarchal countries, which most of us are, is that there's so few people represent so many, because these systems were set up when there was not that many people. We have however many in the US. I'm going to use as an example. We have one president. We have 9 Supreme Court judges. We have, I can't remember how many senators and Congress people, but it's not many. And they represent 325 million people, or rather they don't, because things have changed. It's time for the patriarchal systems to change, to go back to, maybe I wrote a blog post a while back about needing to switch to circles, and then circles below, and then circles below that. I'll find it and share it in the details. But to my members, I'm making this post public today because I've had all these downloads, and I do think this Aries full moon, to go back to what I've been saying on the podcast, full moons seem like new moons right now, and new moons seem like full moons. So that's just how it feels to me. But anyway, so this feels like a new moon. It's at 9 degrees. It feels like we've reached the fulfillment of the cycle, and then we're on the way again to release and then create new. So anyway, yeah, give me a subscribe, give me a like, hit the little bell to get notified when I upload new videos if you're not a member. If you wish to become a member, my community is growing, and at the $5 level you get videos 5 days a week and extras, extra rewards for being a member. At $23 a month, you get an invitation to a group call and an opportunity to have your chart featured on a drawing, live on the call with a drawing. And it's only a members call, so it's not public. So consider that. Look after yourself. Slow down on this full moon, please. The energy is so heightened. don't do what I did. And, just be mindful how you move through the world, because this energy is very heightened, rash, and wounding and triggering. So, but it's here to become the key to healing, which is Chiron is the key to healing. Okay. So much love to you all. Happy full moon, and love.